Hello everyone, Miss G is here for you, and in today's lesson we're going to be learning about the distributive property, okay? And the distributive property shows us how to solve expressions in the form of A parentheses B plus C, which is the same thing as saying A times B, A times C. Okay, and these two are both equivalent expressions because one side equals the other side. Okay, so remember that equation have an equal sign. It's very important that you understand those concepts. So you've been learning about expressions and equivalent expressions. Today, I'm going to be teaching you about distributive property. You remember that we had a problem that said to write an expression for a rectangle with the measurements of 8 and 5/10, and if one side equals 8 and 5/10, the next side is gonna equal the same thing, the opposite sides, right? And the other one was W, so the opposite side is going to also measure W. If you remember, we were supposed to find the perimeter. Let me get it a little bit closer to you. We were supposed to find the perimeter of this problem. And remember that perimeter is the addition of all the sides. So I'm gonna first show it to you as an addition. So we have 4 sides. That means W plus W plus 8.5 or 8 and 5/10 and plus 8 and 5/10, right? So then this is an expression without the equal sign. This is an expression. It is a variable expression because it has variables and it has numbers and it has operators, right? It has mathematical operations. Now I'm gonna use the distributive property, or actually first I'm gonna write it in the expanded form. So I can do this so that you can see. Remember that whenever there's a variable by itself, it means that there's an invisible 1 in the front. So 1W plus 1W equals 2W. Remember, this means 2 times W plus, and I'm gonna do this, there's a 1 8.5 plus 1 8.5, right? So there's a 1 of each. So that means there's 2 times 8.5, or 8 and 10 and 5/10. Now, in the distributive property, it says that if you share, see, it's in the form of A times B is plus A times C. So if you share the same factor, so we're working backwards, then we can bring it out of the parentheses. That means that this equals this side, right? This side, all this side equals this side. Now I'm gonna bring it to the other distributive property in the form of A parentheses B plus C. So I'm gonna put the same factor in the outside of the parentheses. Then I'm going to do W plus 8.5. Now, this is again, if we want to check this, we're going to get this, and I'm going to show you, because the distributive property says take the outside factor and multiply it first by the inside. Do not add first. You cannot add a variable in a number, okay? You cannot add it. So now we have 2W plus 2 times 8.5. So as you see, we get the same thing. So I'm going to show you with number how this works. Let me make it closer. And here I'm going to give you an example of 7, 2 plus 4, right? 7 parentheses 2 plus 4. You've learned so far JAMDAS, the order of operation. In the order of operation, we should do grouping first, which would be 6, and then we have 7, because a number right next to it, parenthesis, means multiplication. So that's 7 times 6. So these two are equivalent fraction. Why? Because if 7 times 6 equals 42. And I'm going to show you that there's another way of doing this. For example, if I do 7 parentheses 2 plus 4, and I use the distributive property, it would be 7 times 2 plus 7 times 4. So that's gonna equal, what's 7 times 2, guys? That's 14. And this is the way that we should rewrite it. 7 times 2 plus 7 times 4. You see, these are equivalent. So what's 7 times 4? Plus 28. Now 14 and 28 equals 42. And if you want to check, 8 plus 4 equals 12. So we have 1 left. And 2 plus 1 equals 3 plus 1 is 4. So as you see, guys, they are equivalent. Okay, and this is how we're going to be using the distributive property in class. So I hope you understand. And if you don't, please ask us questions. Thank you.